Hey, what's up everyone? It's your girl Brain Shanae, and today I'll be sharing with you my March book haul. And I am back, and also if you're new to my channel, welcome. If not, welcome back. So like I said before, I'm gonna be sharing with you my March book haul. Now I will say all of these are not all just purchases that I have made. I've also received books from publishers and also from book boxes, and you know, there are some pre-orders and, you know, book of the month books as well in this huge stack next to me. So let's go ahead and get started. The first book that I have, which I had gotten from the publisher, is Right Where I Left You by Julian Winters. Even the blurb from Becky Albertalli says, "It is even possible to read this. Is it even possible to read this book without smiling?" And I cannot wait to read this. I haven't picked it up yet, but I plan on doing so really soon. It's one of my anticipated reads of the year, and just from reading the synopsis, the story sounds phenomenal. Now I will let you know, I might not read every synopsis of every book, but you'll get the gist. But for this book, it says, "When it comes to love, sometimes you have to read between the panels." So newly graduated comic book obsessed Isaac Martin is gearing up for an epic summer. Teen Pride is right around the corner, and if all goes according to plan, he'll meet his comic writing heroes at this year's Legends Con. Most importantly, the next few months are about spending every waking moment with his best friend Diego before heading to college without him in the fall. If he should also find his storybook love, well, that's just an added bonus. Enter Davy, an old high school crush whose charming smile and carefree personality leave Isaac practically starry-eyed in the meet cute of the century. Unfortunately, the distraction also causes Isaac to miss out on convention badges. Now, Isaac has to break the news to Diego, but with their time growing shorter, Isaac can't figure out why Diego seems more annoyed about Davy being around than missing the convention. How could Diego begrudge Isaac for wanting the kind of romance he always sees in movies? The kind that queer characters never get in his favorite comic books? But as Isaac will soon realize, when it comes to love, sometimes the reality turns out better than the fairy tale. So yes, I am going to be picking this up soon. I'm not sure if it's going to be next month or the month before that, but I will be reading this, and I am just in love with the cover. So this is one book that I've gotten. The next book, which I had just gotten from Barnes & Nobles, which is a graphic novel, and this is Wing Bear. This is by Marjorie Liu and Tenny Isakanian. Hopefully I'm saying their names right. If not, I do apologize. And this looks really good. It was a cover by. And of course, you have that big old weird that sticker, annoying sticker there, but it's okay. And it just a cover by. You see the owls and the monsters and the girl. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. But on the back, it says, "Enter a world where magic takes flight. Zuli is an extraordinary girl. She just doesn't know it yet. Raised by mystical bird spirits high among the branches of the great tree, she has no idea what awaits in the world beyond her safe haven. But when a sinister force threatens the life-giving magic of the tree, Zuli must venture out with her guardian owl, Frowley, to get to the root of it. So begins an adventure bigger than anything Zuli could have imagined, one that will bring her face to face with an ancient dragon, a terrifying witch queen, and most surprising of all, her own true identity." So it was a cover by. I instantly picked it up, and I'm definitely planning on reading this, and like the graphics look amazing. So yeah, I just couldn't resist, and I haven't read a graphic novel yet this year, so I gotta get on that. So this is another book that I've gotten. Next book is part of the remix that they're doing. I think Macmillan is doing with the classics, and they're remixing them. So like Bethany C. Morrow's So Many Beginnings is a Little Women retelling, and this one is a Treasure Island remix. It's a Clash of Steel. This is by C.B. Lee. So I'm sure a lot of people have heard of Treasure Island, and I have heard of it. I loved Treasure Island. It was a sort of like a required reading. And I read it like when I was younger. And I seem to enjoy it, but I feel like I will enjoy this like even better because it is a remix. So it's definitely going to be completely different from the original. And the cover, stunning. So this is another book that I've gotten. Next book, I made my husband, this is one of the books that I made my husband get because he promised he would get me 2 books. So this is one of the books I had gotten me, and that is Jade War by Fonda Lee. I had read the first book, Jade City, and I fell in love with the world. I fell in love with Lon, Hilo, Shay, Andrin. I fell in love with all of them, and it got me. It was so intense, but I loved it. And of course, this is an adult fantasy. And yeah, I plan on reading this next month because I need to know what happens. I need to know what happens with Hilo and stuff, and how everything works out, especially Andin, all that good stuff about Jade and whatnot. So I'm all for this world. So yeah, this is one of the books that my husband got for me. So here's the next one. Next book, I plan on doing a little something because I did it last year, beginning of last year, when Bridgerton, you know, the first season came out, and so I want to do it for the second season as well. So I got the book, the tie-in, because I have the tie-in edition for the first season, so I had to get the matching set. You know, I had to make it match. So this is Julia Quinn, or by Julia Quinn, Bridgerton, the Viscount Who Loved Me. So yeah, you'll be seeing that really soon. I haven't seen the series yet, or the second season, but I plan on doing it. Probably binge watching it like I did the first season because I loved it, but I think it's mostly because of Simon, pretty much, the Duke. But anyways, yeah, so this is another book that I've gotten, and this is from Book Depository. This is the UK edition because according to Julia Quinn, the author, on her IG, she had, you know, pretty much told everyone that in the US, the printing is pretty much delayed. So we won't be getting this edition, the tie-in, possibly till like late April, early May. So yeah, I went ahead and just got this edition because I just couldn't wait any longer. And I definitely want to, you know, compare and contrast between the book and of course the TV series. So I got this as well. Next one, this is from a publisher. This is an ARC, and this comes out in May, and it says Break This House. Is this by Candace Elo? I had read her other book, which was written in verse, and fell in love with it, and I definitely will continue on reading her books. And this is going to be from, it's what it's about. It says Prince Honoré and National Book Award finalist Candace Elo, a novel about a teenager reckoning with her hometowns and her family's secrets. So it says Yamana Okar left Obsidian and the wreckage of her family years ago. She and her father have made lives for themselves in Brooklyn. She thinks she's moved on to bigger and better things. She thinks she's finally left behind that city she would rather forget. But when a Facebook message about her estranged mother pierces Yamana's new bubble, memories of everything that happened before her parents' divorce come roaring back. Now Yamina, I think that's how I'm saying her name right. Yamina must finally reckon with the truth about her mother and the looming collapse of a place she once called home. So yes, like I said, this comes out in May, and I definitely want to read this. It's definitely a short read. So yeah, and of course the cover is bomb. So got this. Next one is also from a publisher, and this is also like another, like a retelling. And this says Beauty and the Besharam. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. This is by Lily Vale. And even on the blurge by Aidan Thomas, who had written Cemetery Boys, it says, if you're a fan of rivals to lovers, look no further. So yeah, and this comes out in May as well, and I do planning on reading this. This sounds really interesting. It says, when 17-year-old Kavya Tossi is pitted against her academic rival, Ian June, in a summer contest set up by their friends, Kavya is only too eager to be crowned the winner. That is until the competition heats up, revealing pent-up feelings and a romance she never saw coming. So yeah, and also the cover, look at it. Sorry about the glare. It's so beautiful. So yeah, definitely gonna be reading this. Got to read it. This next book, this is from my Fairy Loop book box for March, which I'll leave up above so you can check out the video of my unboxing. But this is the book that was in the box, and that is The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by C.O. Hopefully I'm saying her name right. If not, I'm sorry. But yes, this is the exclusive edition, which is assigned, and it also has the sprayed edges. And I cannot wait to read this book. I haven't heard a lot of things about it. I know some people that read it, but still, I haven't heard a lot of raves about this book, and it's been out since last month and haven't heard anything about it. So I plan on reading this in May. So I definitely cannot wait to jump in this world. So this is another book that I had acquired in March. This next book is a pre-order, and it's a retelling, and I cannot wait to read this. I pre-ordered it, and I also got the book plate of the author's signature, and that is One for All by Lily Lainoff. Definitely had to get this book. And then what it's about, just wait. So it says, Tanya Debaz is most herself with a sword in her hand. Everyone in town thinks her near constant dizziness makes her weak, nothing but a sick girl. But Tanya wants to be strong, independent, a fencer like her father, a former musketeer, and her greatest champion. Then Papa is brutally, mysteriously murdered. His dying wish for Tanya to attend finishing school. But l'Académie des Maris, hopefully I'm saying that name right, Tanya realizes is no finishing school. It's a secret training ground for new musketeers. Women who are socialites on the surface but strap daggers under their skirts, seduce men into giving up dangerous secrets, and protect France from downfall. And they don't shy away from a sword fight. With her newfound sisters at her side, Tanya feels she has a purpose, that she belongs. But then she meets Atene, her target in uncovering a potential assassination plot. He's kind and charming, and he might have information about what really happened to her father. Torn between duty and dizzying emotion, Tanya will have to decide where her loyalties lie, or risk losing everything she's ever wanted. This debut novel is a fierce whirlwind adventure about the depths of found family, the strength that goes beyond the body, and the determination it takes to fight for what you love. Includes an author's note about her personal experience with postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome. Sorry if I'm saying that right. I'll leave that right here so you can see what it says. I do apologize if I did not say that correctly. But yeah, cannot wait to read this. I had to pre-order it because I love the storyline and I just love the cover overall. It was very intriguing. And then growing up, I love the Three Musketeers as well. You know, the live action one, the very old one. I really fell in love with that, like with D'Artagnan and all. Well, yeah, I just loved it. So yeah, this is another book that I've gotten. These two books right here were from publisher, and they're both by the same author. So this is called Traitor, and the next one is called The Silent Unseen. So for these two books, you want to read Traitor first, because this takes place in Poland in 1944, and then this one takes place in Poland of July 1944. So this gives you more specifics of the month, and this just gives you, you know, the location and the year. So you want to read this book and then read this one, because this is following Traitor. So yeah, I got these and I cannot wait to read them. Of course, this is historical fiction. I'm all about historical fiction, and this is going to be talking about World War II. So yeah, these are the two books that I've gotten from the publishers. Next book is also from a publisher, and this is The Stars Between Us by Christine Terrell. An Unforgiving Planet, An Unforgettable Love. So this is pretty much like a love, like romance book, but it's also sci-fi. I've been wanting to read a lot more sci-fi than usual. Than last year. I didn't read a lot of sci-fi this year. I want to, you know, that was a goal to read more sci-fi, so I plan on doing so. But this book comes out in August, so I'll probably be reading this closer to when it releases. That way you can get a review out of me. But yeah, this is also what I received. Next book, we have Blood Scion by Deborah Fallier. I did a whole review about this book, which I'll leave it up above so you can check it out. There is some spoilers in it. I do apologize. It's really hard sometimes to do a review without spoilers, but I try to do my best. But I loved this book so much, and of course, this was one of my anticipated reads of the year. So you definitely you gotta check out my review if you are intrigued and you want to know more about it. But yeah, I've also gotten this, and it also has content warnings in the very beginning of the book for you to be aware. So if you do not want to read it, or you think that it might trigger you, then you know that you don't need to pick it up, right? So yeah, gotten Blood Scion, and I fell in love with the story, and I need the second one. But yeah, I've got this one. Next one is from a mirror novel series, which this is the second book out of the 4, and that is Shattered Midnight, and this is by Danielle Clayton. I had read this earlier this year, and I needed to finally get my physical copy. So yeah, we have Shattered Midnight, and I just love the cover. And then also in the covers, if you pay attention, especially like the new paperback for the first book, because they changed the covers, you will notice shoes. So that's a little thing that they put in there. You will notice shoes, how in the first book, the shoe looks normal and then it changes, it transforms. So definitely keep an eye out for that. So yeah, so this is another book that I got in March. Next book is also from publisher. They had given me an ARC, but then they also given me a a finished copy, and that is Hunters of the Lost City. This is by Callie Wallace, or Callie Wallace, and I look forward to reading this. It says, a sorcerer's war, a web of lies, a dangerous secret, and of course this is a middle grade, but just look at the cover. Love it so much, and look at the little end pages. Oh, so cute. But I definitely cannot wait to read this. Like I said, this is a middle grade, so I might read it in May, maybe. I think I might read it in May. But yeah, had gotten this and can't wait to read it. Next book, this is the second book that my husband had gotten me in March. I wanted to read this, and I've seen a lot of people have read it this month, so I'm like, okay, I need to go ahead and pick this book up. Like, it's time. And I know my best friend Bree has read it, and she loved it, so if she loved it, I think I would love it too. And that is The Love Songs of W.E.B. Du Bois, and this is by Honorée Phenom Jeffers. It has that little sticker there. Of course, it has Oprah. It was Oprah's book club pick, in 2021 last year. But yeah, it is thick. It has speckled edges and whatnot, but I'm all for it, and I cannot wait to read this. Even for the synopsis, it says, the great scholar W.E.B. Du Bois once wrote about the problem of race in America and what he called double consciousness, a sensitivity that every African American possesses in order to survive. Since childhood, Ailey Pearl Garfield has understood Du Bois' words all too well. Bearing the names of two formidable Black Americans, the revered choreographer Alvin Ailey and her great-grandmother Pearl, the descendant of enslaved Georgians and tenant farmers, Ailey carries Du Bois' problem on her shoulders. Ailey is reared in the North in the city, but spends summers in the small Georgia town of Chisasetta, where her mother's family has lived since their ancestors arrived from Africa in bondage. Since she was a child, Ailey has fought a battle for belonging that is made all the more difficult by a hovering trauma and the whispers of women, her mother, Belle, her sister, Lydia, and a maternal line reaching back 2 centuries who urged Ailey to succeed in their stead. To come to terms with her own identity, Ailey embarks on a journey through her family's past, uncovering the shocking tales of generations of ancestors, indigenous, Black, and white in the Deep South. Along the way, Ailey must learn to embrace her full heritage, a legacy of oppression and resistance, bondage and independence, cruelty and resilience. That is the story and the song of America itself. So that says it all in that synopsis. So, I'm going to read this. I'm reading this next month because there might be a little talk that I might have with someone, maybe, or some people. We'll see. She has to hit me up when she's ready. But yeah, I cannot wait to read this. That's definitely something for, I would read. I know a lot of people, some people wouldn't want to read this because of, it's about slavery and stuff like that. But for me, I like books like that because it makes you still remember your ancestors and what they went through and that they're not forgotten, So I like to read stuff like this just to, for me alone, because I know my ancestors had come from Africa and came here to, was slaves and came to America. So it's for me, I feel like I need to honor them and also to acknowledge that what had happened in the past, because it's not going away. It's something that has happened. You can't just brush it aside and forget about it, right? You just can't do that. So yeah, I plan on reading this and I cannot wait. Next books, these are all books from Book of the Month. Now, I had read Razorblade Tears by this author, and I wanted to also read Blacktop Wasteland by S.A. Cosby, which I need to read. It's instant buy for me because I love S.A. Cosby so much. And Razorblade Tears was just phenomenal. And I have a feeling that I'm going to I'm going to like this book as well. And yeah, so I had gotten this from Book of the Month. Next book I had gotten because Bree, she read this book and she got me and Princess and Bonnie all oh, I need to pick it up. So I've gotten it as well, and that is The Personal Librarian, a novel by Marie Benedict and Victoria Christopher Murray. So I had to get this book. It was an instant thing once Bree told me she loved it, and she gave it high praise. So I'm going to be reading it. I don't know when I'm going to be reading it. I feel like I should read it next month, but I'm going to see how it goes. It might be the following month in May, just because I feel like I'm going to have a lot going on in April altogether. But yeah, so I'd gotten this. The next book I had gotten, which I had a lot of credits, so I had gotten a few books, and that is The Sound of Stars by Alicia Dow. This was her debut. This is a sci-fi book with also some romance in it, and stuff like that. So I definitely cannot wait to read this. It's definitely out of my comfort zone, but I want to step out of my comfort zone. That's another goal of mine that I want to, you know, succeed and fulfill. So yeah, I also have The Sound of Stars, excuse me, by Alicia Dow. And then last, this is the last book that I had acquired in March. It's also from Book of the Month, and that is The Cartographers by Peng Shepherd. I also cannot wait to read this. I'm thinking I might also read this in May, maybe. The Cartographers and the books as the cover and stuff. I had to get it. So for this book, for the synopsis, it says, "What is the purpose of a map?" And this is so interesting. We were like on the live show, I think it was on Tuesday on my channel, like we were doing reading sprints, and we were like at the very end of the reading sprints, we just got carried away and started talking about where the states are in the US, and so I had to pull up the map. It was a good time. You gotta check out the replay. It was a good time. It was funny. It was funny and memorable, but it was a good time. We had a nice little geography lesson pretty much. But anyways, so for the synopsis for this book, it says, "What is the purpose of a map?" Nell Young's whole life and greatest passion is cartography. Her father, Dr. Daniel Young, is a legend in the field and Nell's personal hero, but she hasn't seen or spoken to him ever since he cruelly fired her and destroyed her reputation after an argument over an old, cheap gas station highway map. But when Dr. Young is found dead in his office at the New York Public Library with the very same seemingly worthless map hidden in his desk, Nell can't resist investigating. To her surprise, she soon discovers that the map is incredibly valuable and exceedingly rare. In fact, she may now have the only copy left in existence because a mysterious collector has been hunting down and destroying every last one, along with anyone who gets in the way. But why? To answer that question, Nell embarks on a dangerous journey to reveal a dark family secret and discovers the true power that lies in the maps. Perfect for fans of Joe Hill and V.E. Schwab, The Cartographers is an ode to art and science, history and magic, a spectacularly imaginative modern story about an ancient craft and places still undiscovered. I'm gonna read this. I cannot wait. Of course, just finding out more about this book and the synopsis, it was definitely I had to get this. Like it was one of the picks, and I was like, oh, I'm getting it. But yeah, so I had gotten The Cartographers by Peng Shepherd. But that is it. That is my book haul for March. That is a lot of books, like I will say. I think in like January and February, I was doing okay. And then March came around. But it's all good. It's all good. These books are all amazing. I haven't read all of them, but I cannot wait to read all of them and just step into new worlds and learn about new characters and stuff like that. It's going to be a good time. But anyways, I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please, please, please give me a thumbs up. Also, hit that subscribe button and that bell to be notified when I upload more videos in the future. But thank you so much for watching, you guys, and please stay healthy and stay safe. See ya!